Hi everybody, my name is Cody and I'm going to be working with you all at Hampton Infant School and Nursery to make it a school street. We're really excited to work with you, and here's what a school street means for your school. So a school street is a closing to most motor vehicles on the street outside of your school during morning drop-off and evening pickup. The reason for this is that it helps you and your family travel to school safely because there's less cars on the road, and it allows you to be more active along the way. So it creates more opportunities for us all to walk, scoot, or cycle. It'll also give your families more space for social distancing. As well as there being less cars on the road, this will result in less air and noise pollution around the area. So what this means is that school streets actually make your street healthier. So when we look at what makes a street healthy, there's a few different things that we look at. So for example, is it easy to cross the road? Are there places for people to stop to have shade and shelter? Is the air clean? Do people feel relaxed? All these things make a street healthy in essence, and we want streets to be healthy because this means that people feel welcome to engage with the local community and step outside, get more active, get more involved in their local area. So the healthier a street is, the better it is for everyone. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. So clean air is so important on a street. So if there's more people walking and cycling, that means there's less air pollution. If there's more public transport, it means people don't have to drive as much. More trees are obviously great for taking in air pollution and CO2 and giving us fresh oxygen. And if you hear birds singing, that's a really good indication that your street is quite healthy, or at least that the air is quite good. Other things like, is it easy to cross? So there's certain parts of our society that might need a little bit more assistance crossing the road. So people who are a little bit older, people with special needs. It's really important that there's enough opportunities for people to cross. This includes pedestrians, so people just walking, as well as cyclists or people that are scooting. Not too noisy is important as well. So noise pollution from cars, so beeping, or when cars are stuck in traffic and you can hear their engines rattling. Little things like that kind of creates noise, and that all builds up. So especially when you're in school trying to concentrate on your studies, or even walking to school with your family and friends, it's great that if it's not so noisy, you can have a nice chat with each other, or even just peace of mind, it's a bit more quiet. We always try to reduce noise pollution whenever we can. People feeling safe is super important as well. So we do this through a number of ways. Firstly, we make sure that there's enough open space that people will be able to interact with each other safely, especially with social distancing. We want to make sure there's enough space, and cars take up so much space. So by reducing the amount of cars on our streets, we'll have more places to walk around and give each other the social distancing that we each require. We can do it by reducing speed limits, so making sure that cars aren't able to zoom past and aren't going too quickly down the road, that we all have the respect for each other and that we're giving each other enough time and consideration. And also simple things like streetlights, like having streetlights on the street makes it so that people feel comfortable walking around at nighttime. Things to see and do as well. So even just little things, I didn't include anything too crazy. So just, flower beds or trees or little bits of street art makes people feel a little bit more invited on their street, and they feel a bit more welcome. And it just means that they might get out and about more. We really try to focus that it's really important for us all to stretch our legs, get daily exercise, go for that walk, go for that cycle. It'll mean that your health is better, your mental health is better, you're fitter. Lots and lots of benefits. So if we were to take a look at these four streets here, top left, we see lots of cars stuck in a traffic jam. We got some people kind of walking in between the cars. We have motorcyclists. You can imagine that because all those cars are on and started and they are in that traffic jam, lots of fumes are being emitted. So I'd say the air pollution's quite bad, as well as it's probably quite noisy. Probably lots of honking. On the top right, we see Cars stuck outside a school. So same again, probably lots of honking. The air is probably not so clean. Bottom left, we have cars actually driving onto the grass, which isn't too great. There's again traffic jams. You have people walking on the pedestrian, but even look at how much space the cars are taking up and the little tiny amount of space that people who are walking get. So even just trying to reallocate that and make it so that the people that are walking every day and have more space to do so, and that cars and drivers don't get so much room, and that we try and share the space a little bit more. And then if we move on, what about this street? So this is also a school street. This is a school street that we did in another school. You see lots of students cycling. We got some street art going on. We have parents being able to stop and talk to each other. Of course, this was before coronavirus, but you can imagine that instead of this being full of cars driving up and down on the street, we now have room for people to walk and cycle. They feel more comfortable walking and cycling. We have the opportunity for people to spread out more. So for social distancing, we give each other the room that we need. And it's just more fun, right? Like, it's just more fun having all this space to be able to walk and cycle and move around in your day-to-day. So it would be great right now if you as a class could pause this video, have a think about the street outside your school, and maybe we can grade it on a few different grades. So talk about whether the air is clean. Is that a red face, a yellow face, or a green face? Red face being it could be better. Green face being it's good. And then talk about clean air, talk about whether there's enough space for shade and shelter. Is it noisy? Do people feel safe? Are there things to see and do? Talk about that as a class, and then move on to the next part. So this will be what your school street will look like. So this big green star is Hampton Infant School and Nursery, and then we have Ripley Road just here. There will be either volunteers on either end with a turtle gate barrier, which is an extendable barrier that prevents most motorized vehicles coming down. Alternatively, we're going to put signs there as well, just so that people are aware that this is a school street, and that, you know, if at all possible, they should drive down other roads. It's really important for all the students to take note and remember that this is not a play street, which means that there will be cars on the road. You should still treat your school street like any other street. Still look left and right when you're crossing before you step onto the road, if you're crossing the road, for example. But hopefully with this school street scheme, we will see a reduction in traffic, and you will have more space to walk, scoot, and cycle, as well as social distance, and hopefully it'll make the air a bit cleaner and a little bit less noisy. So we really hope you love your new school street. It's been a real pleasure working with you all, and if you need anything in the future, let us know.